Claire, how are you? Hi, long time no talk to. How are you? That's Claire from Paris. Make sure you follow Claire. She is awesome. I'm here in Thailand. Claire? Make sure you follow Claire. She is like the queen of periscopers, and she's based out of Paris. So make sure you follow Claire if you're not already. I think you got most of the Periscope followers already now. Anyways, Claire, maybe. Thanks for inviting your followers. Thanks everybody for inviting your followers. It's John about Far East Adventure Travel. You are welcome. In Chiang Mai, Thailand. I'm at the Walleye, good to see you too. I'm at the Walleye Walking Street night market here. And I've been here for roughly about an hour just walking around. I had a little bite to eat. And I'm just exploring markets in Thailand, my first time to Thailand. I've been all over Southeast Asia and East Asia and South Asia. Good morning to you. It's evening here. I'm in Thailand for a couple of weeks, so I just got here 3 days ago, so I'll be here for at least another 12 days or so. Yeah, first time to Thailand. I've kind of avoided Thailand just because I know it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, I've been very close. I mean, technically, I guess I could say because I've been on the Mekong River on the border, that maybe I've been in Thailand at some point, but I've been all over Southeast Asia. I just have held off on Thailand because it is very developed. And you know, they get millions and millions of visitors here a year, and I focus a lot on places that need the help and can use more tourists. Thank you so much. I will enjoy the food. I had some squid here already, which is really good. But I have to tell you, I've been here for about an hour, and I can't believe like the amount of people here and how calm this night market is. So I'm just going to flip the screen and start showing you what's going on here. But I mean, there's all kinds of food. It's a mix of food and crafts, and really, I have to tell you, really good high quality crafts as well. But lots of traditional Thai food here, and you know, the ubiquitous banana pancakes and crepes and everything else. And so it's just a wonderful mix of crafts, but really good crafts. It is fun. It's lots of fun. But I'm used to a lot of East Asian markets where there's lots of yelling and stuff like that. And who am I? Well, you can read my bio. I'm a broadcast journalist, and I'm based out of East Asia. And thank you so much. And I produce a couple of podcasts on iTunes and on my website called FarEastAdvTravl.com. And my podcasts are called Far East Adventure Travel. So I travel all around Asia and writing and reporting about travel here. Hello, London. How are you? Did you know London? I'm going to be heading to Bangkok. Did you know that London is the #1 city, a visited city in the world? Hello, Germany. You know what the #2 city is? Bangkok. And I'm from Canada originally. And I am in this Walleye Saturday walking market. And this is not the biggest walking market here. The Sunday market is bigger. It's right in the center of the old city. This one's a little ways out of the old city near the Chiang Mai gate. There's 4 gates that surround the old city of Chiang Mai, and the old city is great. That's where I'm staying right now. Lots of temples and that. This is outside of the old city, a huge street, and they close it off to street traffic on Saturday nights, and they open it up to all of these sellers of crafts, clothing, food, and it's a big walking market, basically, as you can see. And but I was saying before, it's so calm here. Hello, Belgium. How are you? And please feel free to invite your followers. Oh, that's very cool. Thank you so much. It's a wonderful, I have to tell you, a wonderful atmosphere here. It's because I'm so used to these crazy markets all over, especially in East Asia. And thank you for inviting your followers. If you do want to invite your followers, just swipe the screen left to right on iOS or up and down on Android. There's some people in Chiang Mai that scope here all the time, Thailand to Thailand, and those guys are awesome. And And I don't know if I come close to the quality of scopes that they do here because I'm a visitor and these guys live here. Hello, how are you? And Rishabh, how are you, man? This is my perspective, and I've been all around Southeast Asia and East Asia and South Asia. So this is my point of view, and having visited many markets, all around this part of the world. I don't know why the video is fuzzy. Is it fuzzy? There is lots of people here, but it's just so mellow. I can't get over it. Well, I'm going to be in Chiang Mai a lot. It's hard for me to really feel comfortable talking or writing about a place unless I stay a fair amount of time here. And I don't think it's the lens. The lens is fine. I don't know why you're getting the fog. There's lots of lights here, so it's possible that the camera is just picking up that. So I'm not sure about the lens or not. But I just wiped the lens with my finger, and I know that's not going to help. But so I'm sorry. I'm not sure. I'm not seeing it. Exactly. It's just the lights that distort the quality, and I can't do anything about that. There's lots of lights everywhere. So if you see, if I get away from the lights, it probably goes away. It's the new update. Is that right? Well, that's kind of crazy. But getting back to the atmosphere of this night market compared to many of the ones that I visited all around East Asia, it's surprisingly calm. But I know that in Thailand they're not all like this, and in Bangkok they have some incredibly insane markets there. Probably one of the biggest night markets in the world in Bangkok. But it's really not, and there's lots of these little entertainers around here, kids and adults, that are set up in the middle of the thing, and actually I have to tell you something that that lady just did. She made a big boo-boo. You should not touch the head of a person in a Buddhist country. I mean, kids sometimes are the exception, but that's one thing that you should remember if you're ever traveling in a country that is there are lots of Buddhist followers. You never touch somebody on the head, and you never touch somebody on the chest. It's considered offensive. In Western culture, that is acceptable. It's a sign of affection or friendship. But in a Buddhist culture, you never touch somebody on the head. And many Hindus as well believe the head is sacred as well. Like in Bali, if you're ever in Bali, you never touch anybody on the head. The soul enters and leaves from the head. That's exactly it. Yeah, I mean, we have a tendency in the West, if we see a cute child, to pat them on the head. And that's endearing, but they kind of will overlook that a little bit here, but it's just something that you shouldn't do. Yeah, that's another thing. You don't show the bottom of your shoe. You don't point your feet at the Buddha, and you definitely don't step over people, and especially near their food. You don't step over food as well, because the feet are considered dirty. And hey, let's face it, they are. Just a few little cultural things that always makes a trip better, and the reason why it does is because every culture is different. If you respect the local culture, you get respect back, and people notice that. They notice when you take the effort. If you learn to say thank you in their language, or you take the time to know some of the customs and respect those, people will just give you that much more as a guest. But I don't. I am from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I said I'm still just overwhelmed by the fact that it's just so mellow here in this huge market. And I spend a lot of time in Taiwan, I have to tell you, and I love the markets in Taiwan. But the markets in Taiwan are insane, and the yelling and everything else. But it's what makes it exciting. But this is a nice change. I like it. I really like it. Yeah, I tell you, for a night market in Southeast Asia or East Asia, it's very mellow here. But there's lots of people here. But this is not the busiest market in Chiang Mai. Traveling is enriching. It makes you better. It makes the people around you better, because the stories that you tell makes people happy, and anything that puts positive energy out there is just good for the world, and awareness as well. And that's what people like Claire and me do. We share these places because we want to do the same thing, except maybe to even more people, and show the differences, and you know, that's what it's all about. Well, they don't usually set these markets up until the late afternoon. So this one usually doesn't start getting set up until after 4 o'clock. This particular night market, and a lot of night markets, yeah, they're not set up until later in the day. People kind of get things going later in the day. You know, it's some of it has to do with weather. I mean, it's you know, it's quite hot here. It's probably 32 or 33 degrees right now at you know, 8 o'clock in the evening, or close to around 8 o'clock in the evening. So you know, people don't want to be sitting inside, so they get out. It's a way to socialize. And the other thing is that you know, people don't want to be sitting over a stove cooking. They want to get out and eat outside, and this is the way people socialize here. I had a little taste of some squid earlier, which was really good. I really want to get some more food though. But by all means, please give me a shout out where you're on the world. I'd love to say hi to you. It's John Sabo, FarEastAdvTravl in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Some really amazing crafts here, like the lanterns that you'll see here. And hey, Alaska. The other thing that they do here really is really cool is there's a lot of people that will bring in some of the hill tribe clothing and stuff. So you can get some really original, authentic clothing in that here as well. Liverpool, Texas. Hey, Turkey. Sorry if I just missed you. I was just looking away for a sec, but thanks for sharing where you are. And this is Chiang Mai, Thailand. It's been about 39 degrees here. Hey, DC, UK. 39 degrees here, and I think it's going to be like that for the rest of the week. Virginia, Detroit, hi. Yes, there's serious shopping here for sure, serious bargaining. You definitely want to bargain in a place like this and try to get at least 30% off of what they're asking in most cases. Seafood is wonderful. This food here is amazing in Thailand. I mean, I've been eating Thai food for a good part of my life, but having it in Thailand, of course, is a special treat. And I had a meal last night at just a little restaurant, very humble little restaurant in the old city, and it was just absolutely one of the best Thai meals I've ever had. Northern Virginia, awesome. Sorry if I missed you, but thanks for sharing where you are. I had a green mango salad, which was very spicy. I asked them just to make it Thai style, and last night, yeah. And I had some stir-fried shrimp and with green peppercorns, spicy. It was just so complex, so delicious. And of course I had to have some beer. I had some mango sticky rice the other night, which was really good. And then I had to go to the shopping mall last night to get my SIM card all straightened out, because I have to tell you, I got a SIM card here right away because of course I like to do a lot of live streaming. And if you buy these tourist SIM cards, like at local 7-Elevens or convenience stores, they don't always work very well. So I got this one, and I couldn't do any live streaming, so I had to go down to their shop in the shopping mall and get a proper SIM card that would allow me to do that. And I was at this at this wonderful shopping mall, the Central Festival shopping mall here in Chiang Mai, and they had this wonderful food court in the basement grocery store. Really nice, like really good stuff. Lots of fresh, like the fresh fruit and produce of Thailand is just unbelievable. It's just to die for, the variety and quality of food here. And they had all kinds of durry in there, and I bought some of the sticky rice that they make in they steam it in like the bamboo wood, and they put like coconut sugar in it, and it's so delicious. I had that this morning, sort of my pre-breakfast meal before I went out to take some pictures. And of course the other observance, and again I've only been here a couple of days, is yes, the people in Thailand are very calm and very friendly. And the one thing you have to remember when you're in a place like this as well is, especially if you're from a Western culture, we're kind of trained to, if we don't like what's going on, we raise our voice, we show a little bit of anger, and that's how we usually get what we want. But people do not respect that here. and you actually embarrass yourself and the people around you. And there's something called face here that's very, very important. You never want to take face away from anybody. That means like embarrassing them in any way. So you never raise your voice. You just be calm and friendly and laugh as you're trying to negotiate what you want to do. And you get a lot more respect that way as well. If you go the other route, you can get into big, big trouble, especially if you're ever in a bar or anything like that. Just don't do that. Just try to be mellow. That's how the culture is here. And if you want to get things done, you don't go the Western route and raise your voice and get angry. That's just not the way you get what you want here or get things done. So it's just something to kind of think of, because we're all used to that. Yeah, you know what, Canadians are like that too. We're all, Europeans can be like that as well. We're all kind of trained to, that's what our parents did, and we saw our parents do that. And, we saw that they had to raise their voice to get the bank to listen to them or something like that. But you just don't do that here. It's not necessary, and I've never had to do that to get anything I needed done. People always respect being kind and polite, and you will get what you want. And calm is good, and that's the other benefit of traveling. And I live in Asia, so I've learned, I've become a better person by learning all of these things and developing myself in that culture. But I do really like the people of Thailand so far. It's just been a great experience. Lots of smiles. I mean, they call it the land of 1,000 smiles, and it's so true. People are just so calm and friendly, and it's so nice to be around. And that's probably why this market is the way it is, because in this market right now, you're probably seeing as you walk by faces from all around the world. I mean, there's, Chiang Mai is visited by tourists everywhere. Lots of Chinese tourists here, Westerners, Europeans. It's a real mix, and so when you get a mix of culture like that, of course, anything can happen. But I think that the Thai people are just keeping everybody mellow and calm. No, it's definitely not like China. I'm just here until the 2nd of April. It's actually a short trip for me. I'm usually in these places a lot longer, but I had to cut my trip short. And it's also coming up to a very important festival here that I won't be around for. I've been in this festival before in Southeast Asia, but in Thailand it's called Songkran. It's a very vibrant festival. It's a New Year festival, and it's a water throwing festival. So it didn't start out that way, but it's it's like a giant water fight. So people douse each other with big buckets of water, and they buy those big, huge plastic water guns, and they squirt each other, and it just gets crazy. But traveling around that time of the year is very hard, and so it's hard to get flights. The price of hotels doubles in some cases around that holiday. So, and I've been in Laos a couple of years ago for PM, which is the same thing. It's just the Laos version. So I've seen the festival before, and I had other things that I had to do. So I'm only doing a 2-week trip around here, but only focusing on 2 or 3 cities while I'm here. Yes, I've been to Diwali. I actually, 4 years ago, I was in Jaipur, India, in Rajasthan, which is one of the best cities to experience Diwali, I have to tell you. So, and the last 3 years I've spent Diwali, they call it Tihar in Nepal. So I've been in Nepal 3 years in a row now for Tihar, and basically it's the same thing. They just call it Tihar in Nepal, and I spend it in Kathmandu, and it's really lovely. It's a mellower version of the Indian version. They don't have as much of the fireworks and sort of the craziness, and it's not as commercial because it's not the same type of culture in Nepal. So it's a more humble culture, so they don't have the same sort of spirit that the Indians do. But the Indian Festival of Lights, Diwali, is absolutely a wonderful festival to experience, and no doubt if you go there, somebody will invite you to their home for Diwali. It's just the way the people are. So it's a very special experience, and I have been lucky enough to see that in India. And Jaipur is one of the best cities in India to experience Diwali. I am tall, actually, but I'm holding it sometimes up to head level, but I am tall. Nepal is a wonderful experience, and it's a great place to experience the Festival of Lights. It's mellower, but lots of fun, lots of singing and dancing in Nepal. Maybe even more so than India, but lots of singing and dancing. And if you're in Tamil in Kathmandu, it's the place to be. Lots of children go out and they sing for money, and it's just it's just a really fun festival environment too. And Songkran here is I mean, people who like the water fight and everything love it. But the original water throwing was really more like splashing somebody on the back of their neck with some water. It's a Buddhist ritual for the New Year, and it's kind of turned into this big water fight. But people love it, and it gets absolutely crazy here. And I have to tell you now, this market is starting to get a little busier. Oh, in Trinidad, that's interesting. I didn't know that. That's very good to that's good to know. But the market here is now it's getting later in the evening, so it's getting a little more crowded and a little, I don't say crazy, but just busier. So this is the walleye walking market in Chiang Mai, Thailand. If you're just joining here, lots of music being played, lots of local culture, lots of little kids here dressed up and singing. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing. And don't forget to check out my podcast on iTunes. It's called FarEastAdvTravl. I'm going to upload a film on this particular market, so you'll be able to see that in HD. And thank you so much for checking that out. Yes, I'm going to get some street food. And there's some of the musicians that are here, the local musicians. Yeah, it's a great market, Claire. It's alive, it's fun, and it's just the right amount of energy. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. So I'm going to take off and check out more of this market here. This is the end of the street here. Thank you so much for joining me. More to come from Chiang Mai, Thailand. Is there a walking etiquette there? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but it's very controlled and very lovely. Thank you so much for joining me here in Thailand. Korpa Kun. Thank you. Bye-bye.